Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday, April 17th. We're talking preferred stocks today after a quick review of bonds. And then whatever time you have left today, you have $5,000 of additional capital to invest in the stock market. If we don't quite get all of that done today, you should, but if we don't, you still have some time tomorrow to take care of business. Let's get into bonds. Again, we skipped questions 1 through 15 on chapter 13 because it more or less is a review of bonds, which we would have read in chapter 11. Just to make sure we're clear, a bond is a loan. Corporation, United States Treasury, a municipal government, whatever, may need to raise capital to do something. Company may need a new factory. Government may need a new professional football stadium. The United States government may need a loan to go to war. They need money. They may issue bonds to raise that money. All right. Again, it's a loan. The premise of a loan is you borrow money, you pay the money back, and in addition, you pay interest for the money that you borrowed. It is a relatively low risk investment for you to make because it is on the principle of you've loaned someone money, they will pay you back. Because it is low risk, the interest rate is typically lower. Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Your rate of return is typically lower than your investment. If you were to make it into the stock market. Again, the annual rate of return on average is about 10%. Interest rates for bonds, the rate of return for bonds is established by the current interest rates that are established by the Federal Reserve. Right now, our interest rates are high, 7%, 8%. A nice little return for borrowing, check that, loaning someone money. To review, bonds are typically sold in $1,000 increments. All right. While bonds are sold in $1,000 increments, you may be able to buy or sell bonds for more than $1,000, especially if you have a bond that is with a high interest rate. Let's say the average interest rate right now is 7%. You buy a $1,000 bond at 7%, and next week the interest rates drop to 2%. Someone may be willing to pay more than $1,000 for that bond because they want to lock up that higher interest rate, so they're getting that money. When you see bonds bought and sold on the market, again, it is just like stocks. There's a ticker symbol. You will see a price listed. You can see where my cursor is. It's 105.52. This isn't an amount of money. This is actually a percentage. So it'd be 105.52% of $1,000, meaning that bond is being sold at $1,055.20. Why? Because we look at the interest rate. The interest rate is 5.3%. In this particular scenario, the interest rates that were current at that point in time were lower. Bonds typically come with ratings. All right. Triple A, all the way down to D. The more A's, the more secure the bond is, meaning the likelihood of the bond being paid back or the loan being paid back. A D would be like, Isaac Men's Incorporated. We're not trusting Isaac with the money. All right, there's a risk that he may not pay it back. The higher the rating, the more A's, the lower the interest, because again, there's very little risk. You are getting your money back. The fewer A's or 0 A's for the rating, the D in this case, is significant risk. There is a chance that the company may not be able to pay back the loan. Those come with higher interest rates. For governments, for municipalities, or for the United States Treasury, right, it's the same. They are bonds. They're called different things. Treasury bills, treasury notes, treasury bonds. Again, same premise. You loan the government money, the government pays you back, they pay you interest. The difference in names is more or less established by the length of the time that the government gets to borrow the money from you. These lower rated bonds, right? Standard & Poor's, Moody's, these are just financial companies that rate the likelihood of companies or governments who borrow money. These lower rated ones you'll see here that are BA, B, double B, C-rated bonds, D-rated bonds. These are called junk bonds because they're trash. There's a pretty good chance that they're not being paid back. Bonds have benefits. Low risk, guaranteed rate of return. You get your money back. It's something that you should consider investing in when the stock market goes bad or the stock market is in a bear market, because it's guaranteed. It's secure. It's relatively safe, low risk. Bonds typically will be your go-to when you get close to retirement, when you are trying to protect the money that you already have. The problem with bonds, all right? Again, we've already touched on this. Right now, our interest rates are up. Bonds may be something that we want to put our money into because it's guaranteed and you're getting more right now. 7-8% is pretty close to what the stock market is returning on an average annual basis. And there's very little risk. The problem with bonds is most bonds are callable, meaning the company can pay it off early. They can buy back their bonds, give you back their money, and save their interest payments. Why might a company call their bonds back? Again, interest rates are high right now. If the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates in a month, let's say we go from 7.5% to 2% like it was a couple of years ago, what the companies can do is buy back their bonds, pay back their loans, and then reissue new bonds at the lower interest rate. It is a danger. However, although they can call back their loans, we need to know that you're not losing any money. You borrowed them money in $1,000 increments. They can't just call back their loan and not pay you back your $1,000. They pay you back your $1,000. They probably make the last interest payment, and then they start over. Again, not a loss. The other danger of a bond is that they are somewhat illiquid. Bonds can be issued for any length of time. Treasury bills, treasury bonds, treasury notes can be in lengths of months, lengths of years, or even decades. Corporations can do the same thing, months, years, decades. With that in mind, the only way, similar to stocks, the only way that you lose money is if you buy something at $1 and then you sell it for a number lower than that. Because it's a loan and because you will get your money back, we have to know that you may be required to leave your money there for an extended period of time. And again, that makes it illiquid. Liquidity is your ability to turn things over into cash. Because bonds can be years in length before it actually matures, you may have to forego having that money or accessing that money just to ensure that you don't lose what your initial investment is. And again, if we were to go back and look at this, the example of a ticker here for a bond, this particular bond from Walmart Stores Incorporated is being sold at 105% of $1,000 because the interest rate is 5.3. If the interest rates increased to 7%, or let's just say it doubles to more than 10%, no one really is going to buy that bond at 5.3% when the current interest rate is 10. Who would do that? Why would you choose 5% when you could be taking 10% guaranteed money? You're kind of stuck. The only way you can sell that and get your money out is if you take less money than what you paid in. But again, just like stocks, you only lose money if you sell it for less than what you paid for it. You may have to wait. And again, just like investments, time is always on your side. One more thing to cover here, and this is preferred stocks, and you guys read about this. Preferred stock is a hybrid, all right? It's a hybrid security. It more or less is a combination of bonds and stocks. People buy stocks so they have access to the company's profits, and in exchange for buying access to the company's profits, they also get a say in what the company does. Think about the video clip from The Office, 45 days, 45 points. 45 points, we win. Some companies who want to raise more capital don't necessarily want to take on more owners or more investors and give them a say. So what they will do is issue preferred stock. And again, you can Google search
Staff, just a reminder that there is a PBIS meeting in the Spartan Center. Again, a PBIS meeting in the Spartan Center. Thank you.
May want to raise capital without taking on more owners. No. You can buy a preferred stock, just like you buy a regular stock or a common stock, just like you buy a bond. But a preferred stock does a couple of different things for you. In exchange for not having a say in what the company does, the company will instead pay you an interest rate, a guaranteed interest rate. And again, it is based on what the interest rates are as they are established by the Federal Reserve. Unlike bonds and very much like stocks, preferred stocks don't have a maturity date. They don't have an end date. And they're not sold in $1,000 increments. So if you're looking to generate more or less guaranteed income and not have to deal with illiquidity, a preferred stock might be something that you want to look at because you buy it, they pay you interest rates, and because it's not illiquid, their price is relatively quick to fluctuate. You can go up, you can go down, you can own it for a week, you can own it for a month, you could own it for years. It's up to you. But it's a way to get guaranteed interest payments, unlike stocks that perhaps pay dividends quarterly, monthly, yearly, maybe never at all. Just like bonds, though, we have a danger. We have a danger with them. And this comes down to the interest rates. If you get a preferred stock, if you buy a preferred stock at 5% interest and the interest rates go up to 10, no one's buying that stock from you. You're going to be stuck with it. Same point in time, if you buy a preferred stock at 10% and the interest rates drop to 5, they are callable. The company can buy you out of your stock. They can give you back your money and reissue new preferred stock at a much lower rate. All right. That is what we have to go through today. You have a few $1,000s to invest in the stock market. You have the rest of the day to finish that tomorrow if you need it. And then we'll knock out the next section after we do a quick review once I'm back in the building. I appreciate your flexibility. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Go Spartans.